Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be shorter than my usual videos, so I do apologize about that. There will also not be a 5-minute speed paint version of this particular piece, just because the majority of this video will be done in kind of like a speed paint format. And yeah, hope you guys will enjoy the video regardless. I am going to talk about the process and about the painting in general first, and then we can get more into like rambly little bits and bobs in the middle portion, I guess. So I am painting Venti today. If you saw my Instagram, you would have saw that I was sketching this particular Venti for quite a while, but I was not able to work on it for quite a while. I guess this whole process took me 3 days. I did the sketch, which you're seeing me do right now. So basically, I am transferring my sketch to watercolor paper via a light pad or a tracing pad, so you can shine your sketch through to your desired surface, which in this case is my watercolor paper. And I'm using the Pilot Color ENO red mechanical pencil just because I am going to be inking this, surprise, surprise. I usually don't like doing inking prior to painting, just because if you guys seen how I've worked in the past, I tend to do line art or any kind of like outlines afterwards, and it's just more comfortable for me because I tend to think that if you're using lines, I feel more restricted. But for this particular piece, I find that it is the most efficient way for me to paint this, so I decided to do line art with a brush because I am more comfortable using a brush and it's more comfortable on my hand rather than using any kind of pens. I feel like if I'm using pens, I'm quite a bit heavy-handed. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm still transferring the sketch, and my paper is quite large, so I had to shift up my paper to fit onto the light pad so I can trace it properly. And the reason why I'm using the Color Pilot ENO mechanical pencil is because it is water soluble, and I wouldn't mind doing washes and watercolor on top of it. Just because I know that I'm going to be doing line work on top, it will disappear eventually. So if I wasn't doing line work or line art prior to painting, then I would definitely use an HB pencil because it wouldn't dissolve like halfway through. So for the line work, like I mentioned, I'm going to be using a brush, and I'm using the Dr. P.H. Martin Bombay India ink in the color sepia. And the reason being is because I wanted to have these outlines that were kind of bold, but I hate the look of black outlines. I don't know. I think it doesn't suit my work. I think I kind of like a little bit like of a softer look. So I did my best to try to include a bit of few slower shots. My brain is super scattered right now, and hopefully you guys aren't bothered by me talking a little bit more quietly today. I am recording this fairly late, so you guys are going to have to bear with me for a little bit. But let's talk about the Venti piece a little bit more instead of the process. So the Venti piece, I mentioned a while ago that I wanted to do some paintings or artwork of specifically the archons, and so far we have Venti and Zhongli. But starting off with Venti, I wanted to start with kind of like an Art Nouveau like inspired style, kind of like Alphonse Mucha, how he formats kind of his paintings and stuff, as well as like I love the aesthetics of stained glass windows as well, so I wanted to include a little bit of that into this. So a lot of this is gonna be like bold colors. I have right now bold outlines around like the Cecilia flowers at the bottom, but later on I'm gonna be doing the borders and then Venti himself, which I'm indicating right here that I think that the Cecilia flowers stand out a little too much, so I'm gonna be putting a putting a outline around them as well, which you can see me doing right now, which is a little bit tedious to paint with a brush, but I think it's fine. So now we're on the watercoloring stage. This is actually day 3 of working on this painting. So day 2 was entirely just me doing the line work, and then day 3 is me doing the actual painting. So the actual painting itself took about, I think, 3 to 4 hours. It's like 3 to 4 hours, and then the line work and sketching portion, like transferring the sketch and the line work, took about 2 hours. So it took about 6 to 7 hours ish for this painting. So I decided to put down a really quick wash of yellow. I should have went a lot darker with the yellow. It didn't really appear that much because of how dark the colors became afterwards, so I decided to add more yellow a little bit later. Also, I'm using a hair dryer or a blow dryer to help speed up the drying process, just because I wanted to paint this all in one go and I didn't really want to wait for large areas to dry. But yeah, so talking about the stuff in Venti's piece. So I have Venti in the center, holding his little his lyre, as well as in the background I have kind of like this circle kind of surrounding him, and in the center it has the animo symbol, or at least I tried to have the animo symbol there and kind of present. And then for the right and the left corners I have the right and left and the right and the left hand corner I have wind wheel asters, I believe, as well as some valberries, because I wanted to have something that's contrasting kind of like the greens and blues in this piece. So I wanted to have something with a little bit more red. And then at the bottom, like I mentioned before, is that I have Cecilia's at the bottom, just because they are Venti's Ascension, like one of his Ascension materials. And I'm still thinking what I want to do for Zhongli. I do want to add glazed lilies, or some other kind of flower, maybe like Qingxian. I don't know how to pronounce it, if I'm even having the right letters in that. But I would like to have glazed lilies as well, but I'm not sure if it clashes too much with Zhongli's warm palette. Otherwise, I could do core lapises like my brother said, but I'm not too fond of adding just rocks and stones to the piece. I would like to have more foliage, just to have something to tie them all together. But yeah, so onto kind of like a mini Genshin update. Where I left off was I left you guys kind of on a cliffhanger where I was talking about the summoning. So when I summoned on the general banner, I didn't get anybody except for, I believe, Chongyun. And then I summoned on the Albedo's banner. So Albedo's banner, I was aiming for Sucrose and Fischl mostly. I would love to have Bennett, but I was mainly getting constellations for Sucrose and Fischl, because Fischl is on my main team technically. She's been kind of pushed back a little bit, which is a little awkward because I did that painting my Genshin team video, and I feel like Fischl's not on my team as much as anymore. Xinyan has kind of taken her place ever since Dragon Spine, but as well as me bringing Zhongli like literally everywhere now. He's finally level 90, and I have no Mora now, but he's ascended to 90 now. But what I wanted to talk about in terms of summoning on the Albedo's banner was that I think around 30 rolls, I actually ended up rolling Albedo, which was very lucky for me, because every 5-star that I've gotten, I've only gotten via pity. So that's mean hitting into that 70 to 80 range. So getting Albedo within 30 rolls was actually quite generous for me. Later on, when I did do some rolling in the general banner again, I actually got Jean recently, which is kind of nice, but she was definitely pity. I rolled her literally at number 70, and yeah, I'm actually quite happy that I finally have more 5 stars. It just feels like it's a little bit more rewarding when you're constantly summoning. But yeah, Albedo was definitely a surprise. I really do like Albedo. I just had no reason to summon him because Geo characters, Zhongli is literally like my favorite, I guess. Hence why I also ascended him to 90 first. Besides the fact that my brother mains is Ningguang. Like, Ningguang is his main, so we were trying to make sure that he has his DPS up to 90, and then I don't mind having Zhongli to 90 because we were grinding the same materials at the time, which is just grinding the heck out of Gimel. But yeah, I have no Mora now, but that's okay. I'll slowly build up Mora again eventually. And wait, so something exciting is that I'm excited for the Celies, the mini Celies. I'm still torn if I want to get the blue or the pink one. I would love to get the gold one for Zhongli, but blue and pink are more up my alley in terms of colors that I like. I would love to get blue just to match it with, I think Kaya and Barbara would look nice with the blue one, but the pink one I think would be nice contrast with the characters, and I think it would look really cute next to Barbara, but we'll see. I feel like I'm gonna get blue, but who knows. Yeah, so in terms of the painting, where are we at? So I'm painting Venti's hair at the moment and kind of doing a lot of the black areas, and then finally doing the shadows because I finished doing pretty much all the base colors for all of Venti's outfit and all the flowers and stuff. The one thing I really like about Venti's piece is first his pants. I think I did an okay job of blocking out the shapes. And then the second thing is that I really like the white shadows that I did for Venti's like shirt areas, because there's a lot of blues and kind of like browns and yellows and a little bit of green, a little bit of red in there. And I really love like shifting the colors on white. I just think it looks really nice. So one gripe that I did have in terms of painting this is that if you saw in my initial color comp that I did on the iPad, I actually had a kind of like a dark muted blue as the background color for where the flowers lay and like kind of like behind Venti, and it looks really nice. So on the camera it looks more green, but it's actually a little bit more of a dusty dark blue, and I think that has enough contrast with the red and the green. I do go back and darken up a little bit of the leaves in the left and right hand corner just a little bit, just to push some things back. But for the most part, I actually really enjoyed this painting, and I actually didn't mind coloring or like painting in this way where I'm following kind of like the line work and stuff. It's definitely a little bit more restrictive for me because I'm focused on trying to stay within the lines as much as possible, but I feel like I need a little bit of that control back because I've been really lazy with my watercoloring recently. So maybe this is a good opportunity for me to get back into being a little bit more controlled with my watercolors in terms of what I want to do. And I think lining with a brush is just beneficial for me, just because I'm making sure that I'm keeping my hand-eye coordination okay and learning how to really get those steady lines as much as possible. But I hope you guys are enjoying watching me paint Venti like this. I'm not too sure if it's too enjoyable because it is all sped up, and I think a lot of you guys enjoy the slower footage, but please bear with me. Hopefully now with the new laptop I can edit a little bit more efficiently and it won't be as like choppy-ish, I guess. I'll definitely have an easier time managing with longer footages and stuff, just because my computer will be able to handle it at this point. With my old laptop, I wasn't able to watch back footage that well. It definitely skipped a lot and it just made it hard for me to edit, but I tried to manage as well as I could. But hopefully that will make editing ASMR videos a lot easier, as well as any of the longer draw with me videos, just because there's a lot of footage that I need to chop up, and being able to rewatch it accurately is actually really nice. So hopefully editing will go well. Yeah, so for this painting, I actually am going to go back and use a little bit of gouache to do the detailing in his little vision. But other than that, this painting was really fun to paint. It's a lot larger, so I do apologize that the camera angle is a little bit weird. I feel like if I painted it in a landscape way, I can definitely fit it on camera, like my last The8 painting. But for this one, it's definitely too tall, so I wasn't able to capture it all. But hopefully that won't bother you guys too much. But yeah, so that's kind of like the last finishing touches. I believe I touched up the highlight of his left eye as well, just because it was getting a little too small. Here's a comparison. The kind of color comp on my iPad looks a lot cooler on camera, but it's actually a lot warmer, and I really wanted a warm color palette for these paintings. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching me paint, and I'll try my best to do one for Zhongli in the future. But for now, I think that is all. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys next time with another video, I guess. Yeah, bye!